Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Sorry I did not upload. I have been struggling with just being disciplined in many areas of my life, not just with reading the Bible and praying and making these videos. Um, I'm also struggling with being disciplined with my eating, how I'm eating, my health, what I'm feeding my body, and exercising, just uh, working on my needs, to be healthy and happy. And part of that is spiritually too, which is reading the Bible, continuing to pray and get to know God and seeking Him and doing His will. And which part of His will for me right now is sharing my journey with reading the Bible for the first time and getting to know Him and making these videos. And um, yeah, I've just been really struggling with my discipline. And so that's something I'm trying to work on every day. Some days I don't do so well, but here I am. I actually, fun fact, this is my third time today trying to make today's video. The first two times, the app didn't save it. And if you've followed along with me in any way, you'll know I've mentioned this before that the app sometimes doesn't work and doesn't save the videos. And I'm unable to go to like the next screen where you like edit and add things and, save it. It just freezes and it doesn't process and go to the next stage of the app where you can finish everything and finalize it and save it. And so um, it's frustrating. After the second time, I was like, ugh, what the heck, But I just I told my husband, hey, I restarted my phone. Please, like, watch our daughter. Let me go try this again. Just, I'm, I have been wasting so much time. Reading the Bible was supposed to be something where it was supposed to be done in a year. At the rate I'm going, it's probably going to be more closer to, I would say, a guess would be closer maybe to a year and a half, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal, but it's my fault that it's taking longer. It's my fault. I'm not being disciplined. I'm not doing my part um, that God has asked me to do. So I just have to try harder. But here I am again, third take of the day. Hopefully this one works. No, this one will work. But I'm really excited though for today's chapters because today is the end of the book of Job, and I'm very, very pleased with the way that it ended. And I will actually let it play, and then at the end, of the book of Job, I will tell you my thoughts real quick. And then we're actually getting into the book of Psalms, which I'm also excited about because I've heard really good things about the book of Psalms. And I'm not entirely clear the history of the book of Psalms that much, but I do know that there's like a little bit of poetry and songs and just like things like that. And I've heard a lot of good things about the book of Psalms. So I'm super excited and I'm just very happy to keep moving forward. And I'm glad that I pushed through the book of Job. I related to him and this book a lot. So to have the ending that we're about to read right now was just beautiful. And you'll see what I'm talking about right now. So I'm going to let it play and then I'll tell you my thoughts real quick.
And the Lord restored Job's losses when he prayed for his friends. Indeed, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before.
Guys, I literally cried at that verse when I recorded these chapters yesterday. Literally cried because it gave me just so much hope that God isn't going to put you through things, isn't going to allow you to go through struggles or bad things for no reason. It's not in vain, and He's not going to leave you hanging at the end of it. If you follow Job's lead and continue to trust God and not curse Him and not turn your back on Him, God's going to be there for you, and he just wants you to have faith and trust in him. And if you look at Job, Job didn't ever curse God, but he was like, "Ugh, why God? Why, why are you allowing this to happen? Why are you allowing me to be tortured? Why are you allowing this to happen?" He did recognize that God was allowing it to happen, but he never turned his back on God, and he never cursed God. So I think that that's a good lesson to learn from this book. And then to now see that God was, okay, I did what I had to do for you for whatever reasons, and now I'm going to bless you with twice as much as you had before. And it gets even better. I'll let it finish.
Then all his brothers, all his sisters, and all those who had been his acquaintances before came to him and ate food with him in his house, and they consoled him and comforted him for all the adversity that the Lord had brought upon him. Each one gave him a piece of silver, and each a ring of gold. Now the Lord blessed the latter days of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 female donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he called the name of the first Jemimah, the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Karen Happuch. In all the land were found no women so beautiful as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them an inheritance among their brothers. After this, Job lived 140 years and saw his children and grandchildren for 4 generations. So Job died old and full of days.
I just was so pleased with the way that Job's story ended, because I resonated with Job so much, because I've gone through a lot of struggles in my life and a lot of things. And my whole childhood, I always thought, why? And I didn't grow up with God. So it wasn't like I would be at night praying, like, God, why? Why? No, it was just like, why? Like, in general, just I did not understand why I was going through the things I was going through, why I was dealt the hand that I was dealt. I was an innocent child. I was a good person. I am a good person. I know that deep down. I know my heart and my thoughts. And I could not understand why. Like, I felt like, what am I doing wrong? What's happening? I didn't understand. And still to this day, now that I'm getting to know God, I reflect back and I'm still like, why? And even now, currently, I'm 8 months into following God and trying to get to know him and do his will, and and I'm not doing great. I could be doing more, um and being more disciplined. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying, and I'm going to church, and I'm genuinely actively trying to get to know God and understand him and seek him and do his will, and get to know him, and develop that faith and trust and love in him. And some days I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated. And I feel like, is this all in vain? Like, are you actually going to give me the blessings that I'm seeking? And I want to be clear, I'm not seeking God just to get blessings. I'm not. What I mean by that is, I have prayed multiple times about um, a home for my family. And I don't mean like a home to show off to people or to be materialistic or whatever. I want a true home for my family. I have never had a peaceful home. I've never had a home where I was at home and just felt like I could relax and breathe and have joy and peace and love and light and just be free. And I want that so desperately. so desperately. And I've prayed about this multiple times. And God has told me, you will have that and more, but you have to be patient. And some days I really, really struggle with being patient, especially this past weekend. And to then read the end of the book of Job and see that God did not just allow Job to be tortured like that by Satan in vain. You know, God took care of Job. It was a test. For whatever reasons, God doesn't clearly say, okay, Job, I allowed this to happen for A, B, and C. But it was clearly a test on God's part. God was testing Job and trying to show something. And it's a powerful book. It's a powerful book. It's a powerful message. It's a powerful lesson. And to then get to the end of it and see that God did not leave Job hanging and that he did bless him, and not only bless him with what he was taken away, but also blessed him, double, twice as much. It was just, and then he had a long life and got to see his children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. It was just beautiful, and it just gave me so much hope. And it kind of renewed that spark in me that's like, hey, like, I know that I'm not seeing the other side of it right now, and I'm currently in the struggle part and the test part and the hard part, but it did give me that hope again that God is doing something right now, and I don't know what he's doing. And if he has told me that, yes, I will give you what you want, which is a home for my family, and to just be patient, I have to just lean into that. I have to trust that. I have to have faith in that. And I have to just, keep moving forward, keep trying, and just keep working on the things that God wants me to work on right now, which personally for me, I've prayed about this a lot, and God has guided me currently right now to work on my health, which is eating better, exercising, and then my spiritual health, which is reading the Bible, sharing my journey with these videos, praying, working on myself as a person, and keep going to church and seeking God and seeking people who are gonna keep me in God's path and are good for me. And and I just have to be patient in the meantime and just trust that God is putting me in the position he's putting me in right now for a reason, even though a lot of days it's really difficult and I'm really frustrated. And but the ending of the book of Job definitely just sparked that hope in me again, that yes, God is going to take care of me and bless me, and I have to trust in that, because it would be a different story if God allowed Job to go through what he went through and then at the end just left him hanging or didn't do anything. That would be messed up. Like with my daughter, I don't allow her to struggle with getting toys out of her toy box, because she's barely a year and a half, and she gets frustrated and upset because she'll be trying to get a toy out of her toy box and she can't get it, and I'm not helping her. But I'm not allowing her to struggle and be upset and frustrated for no reason. I'm trying to teach her valuable skills to help her grow up to be a thriving adult and to learn how to think for herself. Yes, she's only a year and a half, but if I did everything for her, what's that going to do to her when she's an adult as she grows up? She needs to learn how to think on her feet. She needs to learn, okay, I'm trying to grab this toy out of this toy box. how else can I grab it? Or do I really care about the toy enough, or do I need to move on to something else? And I've watched her and I've seen her get creative with, for example, the other day she was playing in her little pool. She has like a little tiny pool table, um, water table. So the top has like toys and stuff, and the bottom you can kind of get in it and she can splash around. Well, she was trying to get out of it, but she like didn't know how to maneuver her body and legs to get out of it safely. I didn't help her. I just watched her from a safe distance so I could step in if I needed to. And I just watched her. And let me tell you, you could tell that her head was like, okay, how do I maneuver my hands and feet and body? Like, where would I place my hands? You could tell she was moving around to see, okay, what's safely. And then she did it a couple more times after that. And by the fourth time, she was doing it easy. But if I had helped her and picked her up, she would have never learned. And then she would always be expecting me to pick her up out of the tape of the pool. So I feel like with God, it's on a higher level where He is doing things and allowing things to happen for whatever reasons. It could be a test, it could be, to help us grow or help someone else grow. Who knows? God knows. And I have to believe it's for the good. But the fact that He took care of Job after He put him through what He put him through, or allowed him to go through what he went through, and then blessed him and rewarded him. Um, it's just, it's comforting, because then it's like, okay, I'm going through hard stuff right now, but I know that God's doing it for a reason, whether I see the reason now or not. And I just have to believe and trust that He's going to bless me in the end. And, I just have to be patient. Like He's told me multiple times, just be patient, which I struggle with, but I'm trying. But anyways, I just was very pleased with the way that the book ended. And it definitely gave me some renewed like hope um, and wanting to lean in more to God and trust in Him and His plan, and that He's allowing things to happen and He's putting me through things, for a reason. And that in the end, He will take care of me and bless me, and He's not just like torturing me for no reason, like when I was allowing my daughter to struggle getting out of the pool, her little teeny tiny pool. I wasn't doing it to torture her. I was doing it so that she could learn on her own how to think for herself and safely, get in and out of the pool. I wasn't doing it to torture her. So, I was doing it so that she can learn good skills to be a good, thriving adult in the world. And I feel like God is doing that with us too, sometimes. I don't think that's always the case, because God didn't like go to Satan and was like, hey, like torture Job, like Satan asked God's permission and God was like, okay. But, God knew what He was doing. God knew that He was going to, that He was doing this for a reason and allowing it for a reason. He wasn't like actively trying to torture Job, But, I think it was a good book, and I think that it teaches you a really good lesson and is a really good example to follow when things are hard and when God is allowing things to happen. And, Job didn't curse God or turn his back on God, but he was like, oh, why God, like why? And I think that that's a very reasonable human reaction, because I've done that many times. I even this weekend was like, oh, God, what are you doing? So I don't think that's an unreasonable reaction that Job had. And I think we've all been there. But I do think it's a good example. Job's a good example to show that even when times are tough and God is allowing tough times, I think that this is a super good example of do not turn your back on God, do not curse God, trust in Him, believe in Him, and trust that if He is allowing you to struggle or to go through something, there is a reason and He will take care of you in the end. So, currently, today, at this very moment, that's what I'm going to do. So, I'm just going to lean it more into my faith and trust in God and just keep pushing forward and keep trying and working and on myself and the things that God is guiding me to work on and just be patient. So that's that. So let's move forward. Let's get into the book of Psalms.
Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall hold them in derision. Then he shall speak to them in his wrath and distress them in his deep displeasure. Yet I have set my king on my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said to me, You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will give you the nations for your inheritance, and the ends of the earth for your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore, be wise, O kings. Be instructed, you judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish in the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all those who put their trust in him. Lord, how they have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me. Many are they who say of me, There is no help for him in God. Selah. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory and the one who lifts up my head. I cried to the Lord with my voice, and he heard me from his holy hill. Selah. I lay down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord. Save me, O my God. For you have struck all my enemies on the cheekbone. You have broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing is upon your people. Selah.
I don't know what the Sila is. I don't know if it's like a person, like, or if it's like some word. I don't know. I keep forgetting to look it up.
Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. You have relieved me in my distress. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long, O you sons of men, will you turn my glory to shame? How long will you love worthlessness and seek falsehood? Selah. But know that the Lord has set apart for himself who is godly. The Lord will hear when I call to him. Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still. Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. There are many who say, "Who will show us any good?" Lord, lift up the light of your countenance upon us. You have put gladness in my heart, more than in the season that their grain and wine increased. I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my meditation. Give heed to the voice of my cry, my King and my God. For to you I will pray. My voice you shall hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning I will direct it to you, and I will look up. For you are not a God who takes pleasure in wickedness, nor shall evil dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand in your sight. You hate all workers of iniquity. You shall destroy those who speak falsehood. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into your house in the multitude of your mercy. In fear of you, I will worship toward your holy temple.
Okay, guys, there we have it. Great. Sorry, I saw something on the screen. Anyways, good chapters today. Really, really happy with the ending of Job. I'm excited to be getting into Psalms. I've heard really good things about it. I know a lot of people reference it. So I'm super excited, and I'm just, I don't know, it's good. I'm feeling like hopeful again, and because I was feeling really just kind of, I don't know, just a little down and a little like very like, why God, you know, kind of down on myself. But I tried to remember to pray and ask God to open my eyes to my blessings in my life, because it's so easy to get caught up in materialistic things and just day-to-day life, and you forget to see, and you have a trouble seeing the things that are in your everyday life that is blessings. The fact that you were able to wake up, maybe if you have a car or a roof over your head or food, running water, you can take a hot shower, um, you know just lots of things that we pass right over. And so I definitely, I'm trying to get back to that and have that peace, and be grateful for what I have already and the blessings I do have, instead of being like, oh, why God, why don't I have A, B, and C? Even though those things I'm asking for aren't bad things and I don't want them for bad reasons, I still, I don't want to get too caught up in what I don't have and missing what I do have, that's right in front of me. So just a friendly reminder, don't forget to pray and ask God to continue every day to open your eyes to the blessings right in front of you, because there's a joy and peace that comes along with that. That's beautiful. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.